Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy resurrection. It's a time where we celebrate the resurrection. Not just the resurrection of Jesus, but the return of spring. That's why they placed it in springtime, you know. He probably resurrected in January, and they said, that's not going to work for us. So what are the pagans doing? Oh, they celebrate spring. The return of the flowers, the return of the light. Okay, we'll put Easter there. There's a lot more truth to that than you think. All the Christian holidays are on pagan ritual days. All of them, all of them. So we are come to celebrate the time of rebirth of our own spiritual consciousness. And we are celebrating not just the return of the physical light, of more sun and more daylight, but the light within us. Our own spiritual energy, that kind of light. You know, we see that metaphysically as a returning to that which we already are. A returning to a higher state of consciousness, because that's where we were born, in that higher state. Charles Fillmore wrote something. He put together this amazing book called Keep a True Lent. And we're getting near the end of the book because it's Easter. The resurrection, Easter Sunday. Easter is a celebration of the resurrection of Jesus. Its inner meaning and spiritual significance is the awakening and raising to spiritual consciousness of the I am in the human being. And that has been dead in a tomb of materiality. That has been dead in a tomb of seeming separation and sense consciousness. I have come that they may have life and may have it more abundantly, said Jesus in the Bible. The resurrection is the raising up of the whole man, spirit, soul, and body, into the Christ consciousness. And your body is being healed and renewed and resurrected and regenerated every day, right now. I know a lot of us are going through a lot of things, but that's why we have these amazing spiritual truths to resurrect us, to rejuvenate that energy within us. Because everything in the known universe has its beginning in thought. Oh, that's the third principle of unity. We create our own experiences by what we choose to think, by what we choose to feel and believe. What's going on in our consciousness is how we experience ourselves and the universe. And so this Easter is a time to resurrect the truth in us. It's a time to just give it a try. You know, Lily and I have been working so hard. I put in one of those 12-hour days yesterday, started working at 9, and we didn't stop to eat dinner until 9. And I found myself doing the slides for the message still at 11, and finally gave them to Lily at midnight to put into the PowerPoint. And you know what? It all works. It works perfectly. Like, I'm so excited to do it. Like, time just doesn't matter at that point. And so we were getting a little stressed out putting these 10 or 12-hour days in, working on our place and going to take care of my mom and things like that, and running Unity, which runs itself, by the way, by the Holy Spirit. But the Holy Spirit gives me a lot of stuff to do. So on my way through Home Depot with a cart full of lumber, I pick up a few lilies and put them on the cart. And by the way, if anybody wants one after the service to take home to your family, please feel free as a gift. You want one, Lori? Take it home. You bet. One of those goes to Lori. So the thing I wanted to say was, I started to get stressed because all of my energy and thinking and feeling and believing was wrapped up in the material consciousness. Oh, we need to have a kitchen so that we can eat. Huh? That's pretty material. We need to have a shower, so I smell good on Sunday. So, when I get into the plumbing and it's all like 1970s, it's like there's a big hole in the wall, and I'm like, I better call a plumber. So, in the middle of all that, and it starts to stress you out a little bit when you're thinking that that's reality, that's all there is. Lily and I just stopped, like out of necessity, and we were silent for a long, long time. And it felt so good. And then what happened was the Holy Spirit began to speak through her. And a prayer came to bless our house, to release the past, and to bless this moment, and to allow this moment to be full with the Spirit of God and our love for each other. And the prayer kept going on and on. And that is a true prayer because it came out of the silence. So I think the amazing thing about the story of Easter is that there was an interval between the crucifixion and the resurrection of silence, of being in the tomb, of just being quiet. We look at the tomb as a place of death or a place of darkness. No, look at it as a place of silence. Maybe it's a place of peace. Perhaps it could be a place of comfort, a place where everything is being healed and rejuvenated, regenerated, and restored to its perfect whole form. So when you're given a moment of respite, when you're given a moment where you have to slow down, take it as a blessing. When you're given a moment where the universe says, okay, you're going to stop now, you're going to slow down, you're going to be silent, you're going to listen to me, take it as a blessing. I just love those moments because everything real comes out of those moments. When that prayer came out of Lily in that moment, when we were both completely silent with each other, you could feel the most powerful energy. And that energy is always there. The reason I don't see it is my attention is not on it. My attention has been in materiality. And what I want to do is resurrect from that place. Perhaps, it's as simple, our rebirth, is starting a new relationship, starting a new job. Or maybe it's really dramatic, like being healed from cancer, being healed from something that was terminal, or doing something that people said to you is impossible. Or you say to yourself is impossible. It's impossible I'm going to make my living as a musician. But you're doing it. Because it's what in your heart is yours to do. And you know it's right. And you know that God is expressing itself through you in that perfect form. And that's what God is doing in you and as you. That's the important step that unity takes. It's not just in you and moving through you, but it becomes you. It's as you. And that's very humbling. That's when you realize that you're the one who activates the power. It doesn't matter what you say about the universe, God, the divine, the power of the universe. It doesn't matter. All those things are just concepts until you activate it and put it into practice in your life. I want this idea of rebirth or resurrection to be practical to each and every one of us. I think the key to doing this is still internal. We always want to go to the next workshop and study the next new thing and read the next greatest book and go online and take the next online class. But I really think it's still an internal process. And when you go within, and this is an amazing thing, because when you go within and find that place in you, and you're with others who are going within and finding that place with them, you feel the magnification of the energy. You feel the expansiveness of that energy. And it's great to be in a relationship that is fundamentally a spiritual path. I'm looking at Paul and Carolyn, who've been together a long time as spiritual partners, and Jody and Mary Lou, and Tim and Jenny over here. All these people, these two over here. Stand up for just 1 second, Bruce and Carol. They've been here forever. Now, you might tell me, what class have they taught lately? They teach the class of greeting the people at the front door. Scott and Faith, Kathy. I just said peanut butter and jelly, Scott and Faith. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Peanut butter and jelly, peas and carrots. Joyce and Tony. And, Tony came over to my house the other day. And this was an important lesson in resurrection because I've been working a lot, and I thought, my back is never going to be able to move furniture. But all of a sudden, I get this other Tony in my life, and he says, "Oh, I'll help you." And so I felt better immediately. Isn't that amazing? I have a thought. I'm going to move my furniture. Crucifixion. Oh, that couch is heavy. Oh, those tables. No. I got to move that. Oh, I got to rent the truck. Oh. Tony says, "I'll help you. Don't worry." Wow. My back's feeling better. Yeah, I used to be a mover. Wow. Now I'm really resurrecting. I'll arrange everything. Just hand it to me and I'll put it in the truck for you. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel any pain at all. As a matter of fact, let's go move somebody else's house. And that's how it is for me. If you want to resurrect, if you want to rise up, what do? Lift others, right? That's our formula. That's our pure and simple formula for resurrection, is help others. Lift others up, and that way you will rise. We have a lot of thank you notes and cards that I post on the wall in the back there. And those are from our practice of tithing to the community. And I'm just so grateful to be able to be part of their life, to be part of what they're doing. Calmer Choice is teaching children mindfulness in schools. Children's Cove, we're helping at-risk children. The veterans, just so many people. Independence House, Council of Churches, Champ Homes. And, the list of people that you can be connected to is endless. And you don't have to always donate money. You can donate your time. And most of all, what I would ask is that you donate your prayer, affirmative prayer, lifting them up in the knowledge that they are performing an act of God. They are performing acts of love. And that's what's theirs to do. And so I support each and every person in what's theirs to do. In affirming this kind of thing, it really helps to strengthen me in knowing that I'm doing what's mine to do. I don't have to try to do everything. I used to try to do everything for everyone all the time. And you just can't do that physically. But I want to tell you something. You can do it spiritually. You can be part of every good act in the world. You can be part of every amazing expression of love, like that one running across the floor there. There she goes, down to Sparks. She got to grab her dad to go down to Sparks with her, which is really awesome. Sparks, spiritual, rejoicing, SP. Peaceful. Peaceful. Spiritual. Peaceful. Artistic. Rejoicing kids. Swish. I don't know what that means, but that must mean like I'm going out and spreading that light in the world. So the return of light in our consciousness, it really includes everyone. It can't just be something I'm doing by myself and it's on the computer. Those are fine, the online classes and seminars and all that stuff. And I think that's great. It's a great way to connect with people. But The story I was telling you about Lily and I is because we were physically present with one another, entering into an energy field that is way beyond our conscious mind. It actually is entering into the superconscious. And we call that God. And the superconscious can be intentionally programmed into your subconscious mind. So it becomes your default response to everything in the world. Now you are blessing everyone. And this is an incredible practice because you can intentionally program your mind to think like God. That's what unity is, guys. That's really what it is. You're programming your mind to respond with holiness, to respond with the Holy Spirit, to allow something that's bigger within you, greater, deeper, more loving, to respond. And you're not responding from your sense consciousness, from your judgments, from your past, from your hurts, from your resentments. How often do you find yourself responding? That's your default mechanism, and you respond automatically from that place. And I am driving down the road, and Tony, stop it. Tony, stop it. What's the truth? Tell me the truth. I'm talking to myself. Talk to me like Lily would talk to me. What's the truth? Right? You ever get that eye? What's the truth? Okay. And I think as a race, as humankind, come on, there's billions of us, right? We've come to an evolutionary point where we just don't have the luxury to come from grievance and resentment anymore. We can't give ourselves that luxury of judging the other person. We can't give ourselves that mistaken sense of separation as a default mechanism any longer. It's time to really resurrect and let the miracle change us. I went back and looked over some old Easter messages, and one of them was, Jesus is the template for awakening. Resurrection is the template for awakening. And in it said, if Jesus represents the template of awakening, then you must represent the temple of resurrection. You have to present your whole being, body, mind, and spirit, as a temple, a holy temple. What's going on in your temple? What do you do on a daily basis that honors that temple, that feeds that temple from the superconscious, God mind? What are you doing on a daily basis that feeds your temple? Self-love. Loving yourself, honoring yourself, affirming yourself. Remember, the last few weeks we've been talking a lot about the I am, how powerful that is. I am is the way, the truth, and the life. It wasn't a single personality saying, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. So it's not you guys, it's me. Right? That the ego wants to take over and say, no, I am the way, right? No. They left out a little word called is. I am is the way, the truth, and the life. The I am within you. The I am consciousness. The I am mind, God mind. I am is the way, the truth, and the life. And I am is the resurrection. So I want each and every one of you to allow that light to come back into your consciousness and be the temple of resurrection. Be the example of resurrection for everyone around you. You'll know what to do, you guys. You're doing it already and you don't even know it. You're recovering from an old way of looking at yourself and an old way of treating yourself to a new and vibrant expression of who you really are. Everyone's doing it. It's called evolution, my friends. So just be intentional and be active in your own evolution of consciousness. You know, it's a lot more powerful, a lot more fun than just worshiping somebody else. Oh, I got a whole bunch of slides I'm going to show you now. You thought it was over, didn't you? Happy Easter, everybody! Oh, deja vu. Woo! Deja vu. Happy spring, too. I'm going to go through these real quick. All right, it's a mystery. Oh, this is good because Paul is showing you a mystery that we're not going to sleep anymore. That if Jesus is the template for awakening, you have to be the temple of resurrection. You will be changed into a temple of resurrection rather than an example of separation. So I'm going to do this by remembering that I'm one with God, that I'm one with the universe, I'm one with everyone, that we are one. That is a really powerful thing. If you don't do any other meditation, meditate on that. That I am one with God. I'm one with God. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the world is awakening. Whether you witness it or not, when you begin to wake up, you're going to see it everywhere. Because every time a new person awakens to universal truth, the whole of humanity is raised up another notch. And you're taking responsibility now for your own awakening. You're being intentional about it. You're saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do. By taking responsibility for your own spiritual awakening and transformation, you are directly impacting humanity's awakening. Your personal evolution is necessary and needed for this world to change. So I'm just asking you today to be resurrected. See, we thought it was just this one guy. Okay, this guy, maybe he was God, maybe he wasn't, But no, he showed us that if he is also the child of God, so are you. That we all are. We worship Jesus instead of following him on the same path and listening to the teachings and putting them into action in our life. We made Jesus into a mere religion instead of a journey toward union with God and everything else. This shift made us into a religion of belonging, believing, worshiping, and following instead of a religion of transformation. Guess what? The religion of transformation has finally arrived. We're in it. We're doing it. This is what unity is. It is a vision of a world powerfully transformed by what? A recognition of our shared spiritual awakening. The growing movement that's happening right now, the movement of our shared spiritual awakening, because you are the light. You are going to be the only thing that is available to change this world. And your transformation is necessary because you were born to light up the world. That was all of our purpose, right? To light up this world in our own unique way. You're doing it. I can see it. You're doing it. That's good to see you. I'm glad you came today. There's a lot of light there in that face. Look at that smile. You just needed somebody to remind you that's why you're here, to light up the world. All right, so here's my prescription. Oh, no, here's the prescription from Reverend Anonymous. This is my favorite guy. I love this guy. I've hated him for years. And all the crazy spiritual ideas that, burdened his mind with changing the world. Can't you just be happy and go to the beach? No, I have to change the world and go to the beach. But here's my prescription for personal resurrection. Number one is forgiveness. This is like our biggest practice in A Course in Miracles and many other traditions, is forgive everything, making room for the truth by releasing the past. That's number one. Okay, want to know number two? Okay. Giving, serving. Don't take up any reputation. Just serve, just give. And don't expect anything in return. Right, Lori says, right. I love you, Lori. Don't expect anything in return because giving is the gift itself. In giving, you do receive automatically. It is your receiving when you give. Number three is meditation. Silence, and peaceful living. It's creating an environment around you that is a spiritual environment. It's not enough just to do this for an hour or two every week. Meditation. Silence. And let it happen. Let it come out of the silence. It'll be profound if you do that. If you let each action of every day come out of that place, it's going to be a profound shift in how you enter your day and how you think about your day at the end. And prayer. Affirmative prayer is the most powerful tool we have. Affirming the truth. I am is the way, the truth, and the life. I am the light. I am the power. I am the abundance of God. That's what I am. Keep affirming what you truly are. And the last one is be grateful for it. Practice gratitude every day. Not just for things, but for the essence of things. For what you are, for what's in the middle of it, for what you're learning, for what's growing in you. It's sometimes difficult to say if it looks like a painful situation that there's growth here, there's learning here, there's a blessing here. But this is the practice. If you can think of whatever's going on in your life now that seems to be challenging, I want you to take it into your week. This will bring you into a personal resurrection. There's a blessing here. I'm going to look for it. That's the tool that I want to give you. I want to give you all of these 5 steps for personal resurrection. But remember, the culmination of these ends up in a blessing for you. What is the blessing here for me? Whatever it looks like. What is the blessing here? And thank you for this. Thank you. There's an incredible light that's coming into my consciousness through looking at this situation as a blessing. Looking for God in this situation. God in the midst of this and in the midst of me is bringing forth all the light that the world needs. And I move forward in resurrection today. My friends, I ask you only to move forward, trusting the Spirit, that it's going to give you that rebirth. That something will be born again in you from this day forward that you will never forget. And that's the recognition of your divinity. That's the recognition of your God mind, your God self, your God consciousness. So always stay in that consciousness, my friends. Always stay grateful and be a blessing to all. I love you so much. Happy resurrection.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.